case, some spot on, some really funny dialogue, some very exciting action set pieces.
And that
the guy who played McCoy.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Awesome.
He was awesome. He was easily my favorite character in the movie. I mean, he wasn't in it a lot, but the guy who played McCoy was awesome.
Because he did the little bits without going too over the edge with getting the mannerisms of the character. Simon Pegg was great.
Yeah, I'm surprised though he didn't really come in until like after the halfway point of the movie.
Right.
Which I was kind of waiting. I'm like, where the hell is Simon Pegg? But you know, when they introduced him, he was kind of cool, and I like that. He's kind of a quirky character because he's been trapped in isolation with this like little alien for 6 months by himself. So obviously, when he gets reintegrated in with people, he's not really acting all like that normal. He's kind of gone crazy a little bit.
Well, yeah, he's like your puppy if you've been keeping him locked up all day, and then he finally gets to see people. He's like, woo! And the little nod that they did to Enterprise, the Scott Bakula show. One of the lesser popular Star Trek franchise shows. I thought that was kind of clever too.
Yeah, some of the just like little things like the whole Kobayashi Maru.
The Kobayashi Maru was great. Yes,
like when they had Kirk taking the test. I'm like, oh, that was a big nerd moment. Like,
that's a total nerd moment. Although it had been done in the comics before, but this was again Chris Pine just emoting William Shatner. As he's taking the Kobayashi Maru. And the little bit where they reveal who created the Kobayashi Maru
that was kind of cool.
test was pretty cool. And huge spoiler. If you don't want to know this, I suggest you stop now. Uhura and Spock are a couple. Get out. I did not see that coming. That was like an entirely new twist for me. I gotta say, I thought it was kind of cool. Although it showed that Spock in the movie, the Spock of this movie is different from the Spock of the series.
Right, and I want you to remember that because I want to get into that specific of why this movie is different from the original movie. I want to get back to that, but it made sense in the movie why they were together. It was kind of a cool surprise, but I do have to say that as a character. The most underdeveloped character, in my opinion, was Uhura.
Oh, the series for sure.
Everybody had something specific to do. You had Sulu doing the fencing thing, which was like a throwback to this. I mean, you had Sulu down there kicking ass. You had Chekhov saving Sulu and Kirk with the transporter thing.
Right.
So everyone had like a big moment, except for Uhura. Like, what did she do? She translated that Klingon transmission. That let them know that they were going into a trap.
Well, that's pretty huge, though. The fact that
it is pretty huge, but it was it was just so.
It wasn't so much of an action piece, though, for her.
Right, and it's cool because that's what she's there for. I mean, she's like the master of linguistics, and that was a big, it did help them, but it just seemed that that's all that she kind of did, and then she was only in the rest of the movie as a romance for Spock.
Right.
And I don't know. I guess I was kind of expecting more from Uhura because this is JJ Abrams, the same guy who did Alias.
Right.
And.
But
everyone, like I said, everyone else had their huge impact in the movie by doing actual action stuff, and I just kind of wish that they did a little bit more with her.
Right.
That's it.
No, I see what you mean. That you make a valid point there, and I will say though that they have set up Uhura's character a lot better now for future installments for sure. You're going to be able to do a lot more with this character. There's a lot more potential there. Not to say that in the show Nichols' version from the original series didn't have potential. They just didn't use her in the old series. So, but different times call for different kind of Star Trek. So beyond that, it is a really entertaining movie.
For the most part, the visuals and the designs is great.
It's awesome.
My only complaint with the designs is that for some reason that Enterprise bridge was too fucking bright.
Well, it was an Apple store, is what it was.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was too clean. Yeah, I understand. It's a new ship. I don't have a fine. It's fine. It's clean, but it was just too bright. Too many, too much white, too much clear.
Right.
I mean, they had accents of the red from the original bridge, which is kind of cool, but it was just too fucking bright.
Right.
But again, that just lends itself very easy for J.J. Abrams to do more lens flares.
More lens flares. Although, who knows who's going to do... They are already going into production on a second Star Trek film, or at least in pre-production, the second Star Trek film. I don't know if JJ is going to do that or if he's going to hand the baton off to somebody else.
Oh, hopefully he can maybe do one more just to get it up and running, because you don't want to drop the ball on this, because it was a really good setup for our first movie. But anyway, to get back to what I was saying about what the number one difference between this movie and the original TV show, or the original run of everything that came before it, which I think was very, very clever, was the fact that it's an alternate reality now.
Right.
So all the purists out there
can't say anything.
They can't really say anything because they went out of their way to explain that it's an alternate reality. So everything from here on out, they can do whatever they want.
Whatever they want. They can revisit old stories. They can tell new ones. And it's funny, though. They leave Spock in this alternate reality.
Yes.
So in a way, it becomes the Star Trek reality.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, I thought that was kind of cool. I really don't. I haven't talked to any original Trekkers or Trekkies, whatever you want to call yourself, about how they felt about the new reality. About Vulcan is now destroyed, and there's only 10,000 Vulcans left. So they're in the endangered species.
Romulus is still around.
Well, it currently is. I mean, but Romulus doesn't get destroyed until the future. But I'm saying that, it puts a whole new spin on the Spock character now.
Right. That ought to be interesting to see how it progresses. So, I wanted a little more thinky think. But,
I'll agree.
But
with
it was still a very entertaining story. It was very I was entertained thoroughly by it.
And the little the Jennifer Morrison from House being Kirk's mom, I thought was kind of cool.
I thought that was oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
No, and then Winona Ryder.
Was Spock's mom,
which was kind of cool.
And Tyler Perry as the head of Starfleet.
Yeah, that was too distracting. Now, if it was Tyler Perry dressed up as Medea on that panel, I would have bought it for a second. But I'm like, Tyler Perry? What is he doing? It's not Tyler Perry's Star Trek. Like, what is he doing in there?
I know. I was like, I had no idea Tyler Perry was. But
Star Trek geek. If he was dressed like Medea, I would have totally bought it, and it would have been fine with me.
That would have been fucking awesome.
And again, just really quick, I know we had so many ideas on this movie. I love the fact that they pretty much kept the uniforms the same. The pants,
from
the boots,
the 60s,
except a little bit different.
The mesh on the
shirts. The mesh was different, but everything else kind of looked the same. At least it held. It
was pretty cool. No,
it
was
we
pretty cool.
Talk forever about like what the stuff. I mean, there's just so many different things about this movie that I like that we just don't have time for it all.
Oh yeah, and then the Kirk and Spock relationship is different in this one.
Yes.
So, I don't think Kirk's going to be able to needle Spock so much about showing emotion as in the original series, because Spock shows plenty of emotion in this one. So I think it's going to be a different kind of, different kind of dynamic. Yeah. So we'll see. All right, folks, that's our review on Star Trek. We hope that you enjoyed it as much as we did.
And since there is so much to talk about it, if any of you have questions that we didn't get to about anything, about what we thought, just leave them in the comments, and I'm sure we'll answer them.
We'll get to them. All right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next round.